time, yeah, making a difference, one cup at a time. Tea time. So be sure to grab your tea, grab a seat, and tune in to Miss Liz. Tea time, making a difference, one cup at a time. Tea time, yeah. Tea time.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Tea Time with Miss Liz. That's right. Today we're in the studio with the incredible Elizabeth Batalla, who will be speaking on the achievements and excellence of education and bringing you a new look at how we look at education. So before we get started, I'll start with the disclaimer and then a nice, beautiful intro with her bio, and then I will bring her on and into the studio with me. The disclaimer for Miss Liz's Tea Times live show. Miss Liz myself is going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment, please grant StreamYard permission to use your name at StreamYard.com. Please be advised that the contact brought forward for any Tea Times shows hosted by myself, Miss Liz, is always brought forward in good faith, however may bring forth dialogue and opinions that may not represent my platform. The facts and information are perceived to be accurate at the given time of airing. All Tea Time guests and audience participants are responsible for using their good judgment in taking any action that may be related to the discussion. The content brought forward may include discussions for some where they may be emotionally at risk. It is significant to know that this show is engaging in discussions forms only to offer and inspire awareness and connection and is not providing therapeutical advice. If you have any questions about the disclaimer or the panelist discussion, you may freely contact myself, Miss Liz, through my email at bookingmissliz@gmail.com. Moving forward, should you choose to voluntarily participate in this show in any aspect, I myself, Miss Liz, welcomes you. Should you decide that the show is not for you at this time, I respect that choice and I will see you in a future show. Now, I want to bring an incredible lady into the studio with me. I'm going to pop her in the studio and I read her incredible bio, and then we will get into a good discussion on the importance of education. Welcome, Elizabeth. It is nice to have you here with me this morning.
So I'm just going to be here. Thank you.
I'm just going to read your bio and then we're going to get right into your tea and how you serve. So, Elizabeth Batalla, am I saying it right?
Batalla.
Mm-hmm. There goes my tongue again, guys. All of you viewers out there know Miss Liz's tongue twists. After 30 years in the corporate world and mentoring many along the way, she decided to package her expertise and experience. She created masterclass programs that are based in the three forces in achieving excellence, which contains the 9 fundamental life areas critical for taking a holistic approach to achieving personal and professional fulfillment. She knows that in many industries, women are still underrepresented and finds it challenging to get the sponsorship they need for their professional advancements. She is passionate to help women tap into their genius to achieve the balance and success they seek in their lives. She believes in being the change she wishes to see in the world because leading by example has greater impact than words. For more on Elizabeth, check out my Facebook page. Miss Liz is making a tea making a difference, one cup at a time. And Elizabeth, we're going to get right into what you do and how you do it. So welcome again to the studio this morning.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So the floor is all yours. So let's get into what you do and how you do it. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to get into, later in the show, we'll get into your tea and that and understand you a little bit more as an individual as well. So Elizabeth, the floor is all yours. Go ahead.
Thank you very much for that lovely introduction, Liz. So as Liz stated, I am the founder for the Institute for Achievement and Excellence, and it provides masterclass programs to help women level up across 9 fundamental areas of their life, so that they can assume leadership and executive roles, whether that be in business, in their corporate world, etc. So it's a really holistic approach in order to help women achieve those goals and that outlook. And their programs are online, it's self-paced, and it is amazing, if I must say so myself.
So, Elizabeth, I want to understand there's 9 areas of life,
Mhm.
right? What are the 9 areas of life, if you could share with the viewers and listeners at home?
Of course, Liz. So during the time when I was in corporate, many women came to me, men too, but predominantly women came with their concerns and their issues and their problems, etc. And what I realized over time is that those areas of concerns fell into each sort of one of 9 life buckets. And if we look at those 9 life areas, it's usually centered around sort of 3 facets: someone's identity, someone's connections, and someone's status. So your identity tends to define who you are as an individual, what you bring to the table, how you see yourself, how others perceive you as an individual. Connections is all about the relationships that you have with yourself and relationships with others. And then obviously status, it's about your standard of living. So the 9 life areas, it's sort of an extension of that. And I look at things like personal brand, your demeanor, your personal style, which makes up your identity. Then I look at things like your physical health, your mental health, and your emotional health, which make up the connections part of everything. And then with the status part, we look and we tap into your professional arena, how you value and how you manage your finances, as well as your outlook on the future. So those are the 9 areas that provide that holistic level of experience.
So, Elizabeth, you have a course, a free assessment course. Could you share a little bit on that as well?
Of course. So when I speak about the 9 life areas, many women feel, or many people feel, oh my goodness, that's a lot. And actually, it's not quite a lot as you may think, because it's not about being perfect in all areas of your life. In fact, perfection is an illusion. It's unattainable. Excellence is about bringing your best self forward, doing the best you can with the resources that you have. So one of the areas, one of the places that you can start to determine how it is you choose to level up is the free assessment. And the free assessment is just that, is an assessment that asks a series of questions, and it displays your answer in the form of a spider diagram. So then you can then see which are your areas of improvement and which are your areas of strengths. And then you can tap into the specific program or the holistic program that then takes you through that journey at your own pace.
Well, I like that the assessment actually shows us who we are, because I've done the assessment and we've talked about this in the backstage.
Yes.
Is that I was surprised by some of my results, and I was like, "Ooh, I still need to work on that." So if the viewers at home, they do the assessment, could you share with them not to feel overwhelmed, or feel that that there's a lot of things that we still need to work on. Like I was really surprised with my results. I was like, oh, okay, I need to work on this still.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone at home that is going to take the assessment, and they get a result that might shock them, or it might surprise them. How would you respond to them on that?
I would say don't let what you think the result might be prevent you from taking the assessment. In other words, if you are doubtful or fearful in any way, feel the fear, because it's natural and it's normal, but do it anyway. You can do it in the comfort of your own home, in the privacy of your own room. No one is there to judge you. No, I'm not keeping stats on it. There isn't any secret door that I would know what the result is. The result is for you and for you alone. It is to help you understand yourself a bit better, so that when you continue to embark on your own improvement journey, it's easier. It's easier because you can decide Do I try to improve everything across the board simultaneously, or do I choose to focus on one thing at a time? What is that one thing, and how much focus do I actually need? And if I have multiple areas I need to focus on, then perhaps how do I prioritize it? Do I prioritize the quick wins first, or the ones where I really need improvement? I start there first. So it really, really helps someone to determine their path and their journey in terms of leveling up.
So is there an order of, like, when we get our results from the assessment, is there an
Mhm.
order that we should be working on? Like, is it the higher number, the lower number? Which one should we work on first?
The results are on a scale of 1 to 5, one being obviously areas that require most improvement, and one being areas where it's really fantastic. And it's not that it doesn't require improvement, it's just not an immediate need at that point in time. But in terms of what you need to do first, what you need to do last, it's entirely a unique and personal choice. Some people decide I'm going to start from, let's say, module one and go all the way to the end. Some people decide I'm going to dip into the areas where I feel I need the most help and then continue on my path. Some people do it in a few weeks, some people take months. It is all a unique experience designed for the individual person, and it's an individual choice.
So there's no real order,
There's
right?
no real order, no.
Okay, so what is the focus of education? Why is the focus of education important to women in general?
Wow, Liz, that is a big question. It's a big question. Um, Education, let's face it, education opens doors. It opens doors because it expands the mind. It gives people, not just women, but it gives people in general opportunities that may not have been open to them previously had the education not been there. And I say to women that, and I say women, all people, but women are predominantly the focus of the Institute, is that education helps you realize, or helps the female realize, that you don't need someone to open a door for you and hold it open. With education, you create the key that will fit into the lock of any door so that you can open the door of your choosing confidently. Open that door, walk into that room, and stand there with confidence, knowing that you deserve to be there. That is what education can help with. It can span your personal life, your professional life, all areas of who you are, and create the individual that you are meant to be. And it's a powerful, powerful way to open doors and to move up in life. And it has worked in my own life, because education is what got me where I am today.
Well, I think we all need to educate ourselves, right? We all have to step
Absolutely.
up and, we have to learn. We're all open minds, well, not
Mm,
all, but I mean, most of us are open minded to learning, right? And some people are afraid of education because they're scared of learning new things because it's not what they're used to, right? It's not the
mm,
pattern, it's not the cycle that they're used to. I know when I did the test, that's what I kind of noticed with my results was the life patterns and cycles that I need to work on,
mm,
the,
mm.
and that. Um, so how can we create an impact on the women leaderships and the awareness?
There are many, many facets, of many things that we can do, Liz. One of the things is, again, through education. Another way is through exactly what you're doing right now, Liz, having this platform for people to voice, for women to speak, to communicate, to share their own experiences, to share their tools and their techniques and their own knowledge. So platforms such as this, I always say, when I speak to successful women, I always say and try to find out from them, are they doing any sort of mentoring? And I'm not talking about the mentoring that other people pay necessarily, but just paying it forward, giving back to a younger generation. And then outside of that, there are tools, there are courses, there are books, there are videos, so many things. It's sometimes it can feel overwhelming, but we are not short on choice in this modern world, especially living in a Western environment.
Now, do you feel that there is enough mentoring out there for the new generation of women?
I don't believe so. I believe there are many mentors, and I do believe also that the mentoring it can be for the select few. So, for instance, it comes at a lot of mentorship may come at a certain price point that some may not be able to afford, or in an organization, mentorship sometimes happens at the higher level in an organization, coaching as well, as an example. So, although we have taken a positive step forward, and there is more and more of it available now than ever before, we still have work to do in making it available to the masses in a way that is easily accessible and affordable as well.
So, what implementations with your tools would help better the leadership in the future generations?
I'm sorry, Liz, would you repeat that question, please? I didn't
The
quite get that.
implementations of your tools, how would they help with the mentoring and coaching of the future generation of the young girls?
Ah, okay. So, in terms of what the Institute provides, we provide three things. As I stated, the website contains the masterclass programs, which are self-paced, online, etc. And then if someone wants to go further in their level up journey or their education journey, they can then work either with me or my team as a consultant or coach. So from that respect, it can help people at all price points, because there are programs all the way from the price of a cup of coffee that will take 30 minutes to something at a higher price point that would take weeks to complete. So it truly caters for every person to be able to have the opportunity to access some type of information to help them in their journey.
Now, the course that you have, Elizabeth, how long does it take for the assessment?
The assessment itself it's free, and the assessment takes, I would say, maybe 15 minutes to do. So that's where you ask yourself, that you answer the questions and you get a picture of where you are in the scheme of things. In terms of the programs we offer, it's different. There are many different programs to choose from, so it depends on which program you choose. It can be as as maybe from 15 minutes, 30 minutes, all the way up to 2-3 months. It depends on what the person chooses and where they feel they need the most help.
Well, I know that when I did the assessment myself, I wasn't in the right frame of mind. So when we're doing this assessment, do you feel that we should be in a quiet zone, a time where we're really focused on the assessment to do it?
Ideally, Liz, yes.
Okay.
A quiet space where you can really think and give yourself the space to answer the questions appropriately. Now, I know in life the ideal time comes around rarely. So what I would say is just do it, because usually the first answer that comes to mind is probably the correct one. It's probably the one that it's the true one. It's the gut feel one. So I would say just attempt it, do it, and see what happens. You can always repeat it, because the way it's structured is you can do it over and over and over again. So if you felt, okay, that it didn't quite resonate, let me try again, that's fine as well.
I think I'm going to do mine again. Because I was second guessing myself on a lot of things. I was like, okay, is this the answer that she wants to hear, or is this the answer that I should put? And that was part of my results as well.
Remember, I don't see this. I don't have access to this. When you as an individual, you do the assessment, it's all you. I don't have any access to this at all, unless you choose as an individual to share your results with me, if you choose to work with me. Other than that, no one has privy to that information but you. So feel free to be as honest as you can. And as I said, Liz, usually the first answer is usually the correct one.
Yeah, that's something I still need to work on. That was an area that I need to work on. So I might just redo that assessment again. So now to work with you, Elizabeth, how does that work?
um, to work with me, first of all, the person will need to go through the top tier course, which is called Achieving Professional Excellence. And don't let that dissuade you. As I said, excellence is not about perfection. And the fact that it's stated Achieving Professional Excellence, it isn't just for the professional. It is and will help you with your personal level up journey as well. But I do not take on or I do not work with people who have not been through that particular program, which is the holistic way to level up. Because to be honest, that person will be wasting their time, their
Okay.
personal resources, which is time, money, and effort, if they choose to work with me without going through the program. Because many things that I could tell them, it's in the program. Many things that they would discover working with me, it's in the program. So by the time they get to work with me, they are working at a more strategic level because they have dealt with the foundation of what needs to be looked at. And then they are not wasting their own personal resources, again, which is time, effort, and money,
Yep.
with me because they've already done the groundwork.
Well, and I think that's really important, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're so looking for the answer to heal, right? The fast fix. So we think, oh well, if we just skip this and we just go there, instead of actually taking the time and understanding what the program is, we're just wasting our time. It's like you said, Elizabeth, and you're being upfront and you're being transparent about that, and I really like that
Yes.
because there are a lot of misleading organizations out there and businesses out there that will just say, well, no, just take my program. I'll fix
No.
you. So I really like the transparency that you're showing, Elizabeth, because for the viewers and listeners at home and the people that will watch the replay, we need this today in today's world. We need that transparency. We need that honesty and I think that's why me and Elizabeth really aligned a lot, plus the names Elizabeth and Elizabeth. So we have two voices in the house. But I mean, we were just aligned to work together and to come together and bring this awareness together. So Elizabeth, I'd like to know more of the 9 areas because we have lots of time. So we're running on good time right now. So I'd like to know more of the 9 areas a little deeper as well, and for the viewers and listeners at home, so they could understand a little bit more of the 9 areas, and then we'll work on the 3 forces, and that's
Okay, so allow me, Liz, to explain it in totality so that the viewers would understand the link and they won't be confused about it.
okay.
The 3 forces is a framework for achieving excellence. And in the 3 forces, there are obviously 3 forces. One force is identity, which I explained earlier, that it's about you, the individual. The other force is connections, which is about your relationships. And then the final force is your status, which is about your standard of living. Now, within each of those 3 forces, there are 3 life areas someone can work on, hence 9 life areas. So in the identity force, the 3 life areas, the first one is your personal brand. The second one is your demeanor, how you carry yourself, walk, talk. The third one is your personal style. We are visual, yeah? So how you present yourself, how you look speaks volumes. So again, in the identity force, you have personal brand, your demeanor, and personal style. In the connections force, it's the connection you have with yourself and others. So we look there at the other 3 life areas, which are your physical health, how you take care of yourself, your physical health, and how you use it in relation with others. Your mental health, which is really important, a big topic these days, all of the mental health issues we are facing. And then thirdly, your emotional health. Yes, how you engage and interact with others. So that comprises the second force. The final force, which is status, we look at three life areas there. Your profession, how you navigate that professional space or your business space. The second one is your financial management. How do you manage your finances? How do you invest? How do you save? And then finally, the future. What is your outlook on the future? How can you perceive what your life purpose is? What type of legacy are you going to leave behind for the next generation? So those are the 9 life areas. Personal brand, your demeanor, personal style, your physical health, mental health, emotional health, and then finally, your profession, your finances, and your future.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for really making that clear for the viewers and listeners at home.
Of
And to the
course.
ones that are watching the replay, that will watch the replay, I like that you've broken it down into areas that we can understand,
Mhm.
Um, there are a lot of people out there that don't look towards the future,
Mhm.
so maybe this might give them an enlightenment to understand that they can look towards the future,
Mhm.
and it really opens you up. Like the assessment really made me see a lot about myself that I wasn't really paying attention to.
Mhm.
So I want to thank you for that assessment. And like you said, we can do it as many times as possible in that as well. So I have shared as you were speaking how people can reach you. But if you'd like to tell people out there that are listening right now and that are going to listen to the audio later, where can they reach you?
The easiest way to reach me is on my via my website because it contains all of my links and everything, and that is achievementandexcellence.com. But I know, Liz, you will put it in the link. So if whether you type courses.achievementandexcellence.com or just achievementandexcellence.com, either one will work, and you will get to my website. So that's fine.
Well,
And
thank you so much.
yes.
I really like that you're so open and out there because you do have a lot of locations where we can find you. You're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. You're all over. So if people really
Yes.
want it, if really people want to take the time to do this assessment and take part, you are out there and they can reach you. Uh, so now I want to get into your T, Elizabeth.
Mm.
So what is your T? If I give the letters TEA, what would your T be?
I believe for me, the letter T would stand for tenacity. I am very determined, very driven, fully committed to helping women achieve their vision, their goals for themselves, whether that be personally or professionally. So tenacity for me describes that level of determination and drive. E for me will be evolve because, as I stated, Liz, we talk about leveling up and we talk about this journey and we speak about education and we speak about all of these things. And it's part of evolving, it's part of who we are as individuals. And for me, despite where I am at in my career and where I am in my life, I still have a lot to learn. I am still evolving, just like you guys are. I am, I don't consider myself to the end of my journey. There will always be something to learn, something new to discover. I remain curious. And because I remain curious, I am open to the fact that my work, my job is never done. It will never be done. I will
I don't think it
always
ever
be
will be.
evolving. No.
There's room to grow there's room for you to grow in the future, Elizabeth. Like
Yes.
there's a, and your A, what would your A be?
My A would be alignment.
Oh, I
Uh,
like that.
yes, because for me, my my T, which is tenacity, my E, which is evolve, it's all towards achieving my A, which is alignment. An alignment with what? Alignment with who I am as an individual, how I would like to show up in this world, how I would like to be remembered through my legacy. So it all drives towards that one singular common goal is to be the best that I can be every day of my life and to leave that legacy behind, my baton for the next generation. Everything I can do in this life that will help the next generation, that will help anyone, and help make, some part of the corner where I am in this world, just even one person better, slightly better, I would have achieved my goal. So alignment is my final letter.
Well, I really like, Elizabeth, that you shared that tenacity involving an alignment, because it actually is a strong cup of tea of leadership.
Yes.
And that's exactly what you work in, you work to bring awareness for the education of leadership in women. And that's exactly what you just served. You served a really strong cup of tea of leadership. We need that tenacity as women. We need to evolve and we need to align in order to lead. So you've actually served a really good cup of tea, and you've really spilled a good strength, of women out there that are listening right now. As you said, you're not just focused on women, but we need women leaders out there. It is important that us women feel that, we're not empowering and overtaking. We need to understand that we have the right to lead as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, I've shared with many women and with organizations, because I work with organizations as well. And Liz, diversity is key. Diversity is key in terms of whether it be gender, whether it be ethnicity. We all deserve a place at the table. And, I was doing some research and I came across a report by McKinsey company. It's a global company, but they're based predominantly in the UK, where I am based. And some of the stats are absolutely amazing. And they were stating things like, companies are 70% more likely to get into new markets, 70% to get into new markets when they have a diverse team. And
Wow.
yeah, and 25% more likely to see more than above average profits when the leadership team is diverse. And the thing is, there is less than 15% of women, less than 15% in leadership roles, and a third of companies, more than a third actually, have no women in leadership teams. Not one.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is important. This is the information that we need to get out there. This is the awareness that we need. Now I'm going to get passionate, because these numbers need to be higher, guys, because
Yes.
we have the right as women to lead. We are leaders. We've been knocked down for so long and told that we are not meant to be there, but we have a voice too, and we can lead. And these numbers are scary. They scare me.
They are very scary. And one of the reasons why I created the Institute as well is, it's because, yes, look, I know that we have started the journey, but we still have a long way to go. I am aware of all of the challenges that women face. But one of the things that we have, and we do have control over, is ourselves. We have complete control over that. So that is why these programs are to help women, level up in a way that they step out and they stand up and they show up to be the best that they are, so that the challenges are now external to them. They have taken care now of the internal challenge, which is themselves as an individual. And that's what these programs are about. Because, there are many things that we don't have control over, or that we have, we may not have full influence over, but we do have control over ourselves. And in terms of how we show up to situations, how we handle situations, how we deal and respond to situations, we do have control over that. For some people, it happens naturally. They know what to do. Others, the good news is you can learn it. It takes time. It may take practice, but it's something that can be learned.
And I like that. I like that you said that it could be learned.
Oh, yes.
We can teach ourselves. We can educate ourselves.
Yes.
And we can seek awareness. If you don't see it, go out and seek it. So Elizabeth, I want to ask you, as a woman, as a leader in the roles of, you've worked over 30 years in the corporate world, what could we do to change the way that we lead as women today?
We continue to, first of all, there are many things, but first of all, we continue to work on ourselves as women.
Okay.
Become so good that we can't be ignored. And I know we will continue to be ignored sometimes. It happens.
It's just the way it works, right?
The way it works sometimes. But the thing is, be the best that you can be. That's number one. Be the best that you can be. So you, as an individual, when you are the best that you can be, you know that if things don't work out the way you want, it's not because you didn't try and you didn't put your best self forward. So there would be no regrets. So that's one. Be the best that you can be. Number two, I would say, is stand your ground and be confident enough to stand your ground. There are many times and many leaders where their opinions may not be the most popular opinion, but it's the right thing to do. Remain true to your internal barometer. Do not sacrifice who you are for other people. And lastly, I mean, there are many things we can talk forever on this, but another factor is always pay it forward. Learn from the experts, adapt it to your own individual persona, and help others along the way. And that's basically it.
So Elizabeth, what do you feel is missing in the leadership world of women right now? Do you feel that it's fear or in misguided information, not enough information? Like what do you feel is missing?
That's another big question, Liz. And the reason why I say it's a big question is because there are two sides of the puzzle to that. Yeah. So what's missing? It's on one end, women and again, I'm speaking to women here, is that we lack the sponsorship. We lack certain opportunities. So there is that aspect from the corporate perspective, where the support is not there. Support in terms of more flexible hours to allow women who have children to be able to perform in their leadership roles. So that's one aspect, the corporate aspect of things. Another aspect is, unfortunately, women themselves, us. We are sometimes our own worst enemy. One of the things, because I do quite a few, when I sat on boards, I did interviews. And I would look at the participants, the candidates who came to the interviews. And one of the reasons why they were predominantly male candidates is that a female would look at the job description. And if she can't perform more than 90% of what's on there, she probably will not put herself forward. Whereas a man, as long as he can do 50, 60% of the job, he probably would still put himself forward. So they are more forthcoming, men are more forthcoming in putting themselves in uncomfortable situations, being confident about whether they're competent or not. That's a different question, but being confident to put themselves forward. Yeah. Whereas women, we step in our own way. We second guess things, we ruminate, and we put ourselves down and we lack confidence. Now, not all women, I'm generalizing here. I'm not saying we are all like that. But I'm saying that there are two sides to the coin. The corporation needs to take more responsibility, as well as women need to take more responsibility as well for making sure that they show up to the opportunities. So,
well, and we talked about that before the show started, about stepping up, and taking responsibility for ourselves, you know, and if we don't try, if we get a no, at least we know we tried. I've been doing this for the last 2 years, is I'm jumping into opportunities that I'm just like, ooh, am I really the person for this? But if I don't try, I don't know, right? And you can try, and if you get the opportunity and you feel that it's not right, at any time you can say, you know what, this is not for me, I gotta go. I tried it, but it's not for me. Be transparent and be honest and say, you know what, it's just not for me. I've said it many times, this is not my cup of tea, and I've tried it, but thank you for the opportunity, but it's not aligning with what I'm doing and who I am as a person. And it's like you said, don't sacrifice yourself in order to fit in. We as leaders, and women especially, need to say, it's not for us, and that's okay. I feel like a lot for myself and for seeing leaders out there, female leaders as well. We sometimes stay in situations because we don't want to disappoint the surroundings, the members, the club, the team, because we're that nurturer, right? We're that
Mm-hmm.
mother. We always have to
Mm-hmm.
look out for everyone. So we end up putting ourselves in situations that are not good for us as well,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where your assessment comes really good, and into the mental health, understanding our mental health, understanding who we are and why we do
Mm-hmm.
what we do, because we need a good, strong mental health in order to continue on and get ahead in that. So
Mm-hmm.
I wanna get into you gave me one word, and all of my guests are asked this question when they're asked to come on Tea Time, is to give me one word that describes them as a person. You've given me the word inspiration. Inspirational. Could you share a little bit why you chose that word to describe yourself as a person?
Actually, Liz, others have chosen that word for me, because throughout my career, as I said, I've helped many people, sometimes with what they consider to be simple issues, or whether they consider it to be complex issues. I just saw it as issues. I didn't think whether it was simple or complex. I went into everything with the same level of energy. And more, I kept hearing people use that word in context with me in terms of who I am and what I brought to the table. And, it took me a while to accept that, because like most, I initially in my early career doubted that I was that persona. And it took time, and it took dealing with quite a few people before I truly appreciated and felt, yeah, actually, yes, I do inspire others. I do bring that degree of inspiration to others. And the more and more people uh, sort of solidified and told me that that is what they thought of me, if they could describe me in one word, is the more it became part of who I am as an individual. And it became so ingrained in me after a while that it became my purpose, or part of my purpose, part of my life's purpose, which again is why I created the Institute for Achievement and Excellence. It's to share that inspiration that others have given me in my own journey. And I hope that, people see that in the programs and in what I bring to the table, and they too, again, as I always say, it's about passing it on, and they too become an inspiration for others.
Well, I like that people gave you that word, and then you actually, as time went on, you actually seen it within yourself that you were
Yes,
inspiring people. So
yes.
I kind of see like the growth, right? The self growth. So, and
Mm-hmm.
we get this a lot. Is a lot of people will tell us they see this in us, and we do this for them, and then we're like, we don't do that. But
Mm,
then with growth and working on ourselves and getting out there and understanding why we do it and the purpose and the why, we actually see what they see.
mm-hmm.
Eventually we do. Sometimes
Eventually.
eventually we do. Not all the time. Sometimes it takes us, it's not overnight that we just get this awakening and, oh my God, okay, yeah, I am. You know, uh, for me, like when I hear the word inspirational, I look at the person. Are they truly inspired with what they do themselves? And I see this in you, Elizabeth. You are inspired by what you do because you see the growth, you see the outcome, and you see the different alignments that are aligning together to make the difference. And that is truly inspiring. So when you gave me the word inspirational, I was like, yeah, that's her. That is who she is. Because I've actually watched some of your work, and I've been following, like I follow my guests before, during, and after. They're stuck
Mm,
with me. That's just the way it works with Tea Time. It's not just a one-time show. You're actually part of my family now. And I encourage all of my guests to continue to grow and continue to
mm,
share. And I see this in you, Elizabeth. I see that this is just the beginning of a new alignment, a new change, new connection, right? And bringing the strength to the table, you know, giving the tools and awareness to the women out there. You've done the roles. You've been at at the tables, and you're saying this is where we need to correct it. This is where we need to
mm-hmm,
be, you know. So you've
mm-hmm,
actually been in those shoes of where future leaders could be, if they believed in themselves and And it took time. Like it took time for you to believe that you were inspirational, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not something that just poof comes out of the water, you know? We don't get this awakening, you know, we go to bed and wake up in the next morning, oh my God, my life has changed.
No, no,
That's
no. It
not
takes
how it is.
it's continual learning, continually working on yourself. But the whole idea, and this is why, you know, I love the beauty of where we are with technology today. The whole idea is that the learning curve doesn't need to be decades long anymore. As individuals, you can learn what took me decades. It can take someone weeks, months,
Exactly.
but it doesn't have to take decades. And this is why I package everything 30 plus years of not just my experiences, of experiences I've learned from other successful, very successful people, and package it in such a way that within 6 weeks, it could be as little as 6 weeks, someone can achieve that and can level up and have what it takes to go out there or even refine where they already are if they choose that. I don't really necessarily want to move. I'm happy where I am, but there are a few things I can tweak because not everyone wants to, to be in leadership roles. There are many who are quite comfortable and happy with where they are, and that's fine. And they just want to work on themselves in a personal way, and that's fine too. And it can do that for them. But it doesn't need to take decades.
Yeah,
Success leaves clues.
it does, you
Mm,
know, and why does it need to take decades when we're supposed to be leaning towards each other, supporting each
mm.
other, and growing together, you know?
Absolutely.
One sister might have something that another sister might, you know? It's like the old cream and sugar. I have the cream, you have the sugar. Let's work together and let's make a perfect cup of tea here. You know, this is what we
Mm,
do. And we actually end up helping one another without even realizing that we have by just adding the cream and sugar to the tea. You know, it's that easy. It's that simple. You know, we as women, you know, we have this fear of never being good enough. You know, I don't know where it comes from. We're generations and decades ago, we were the leaders. We were the ones that were running and ruling. I don't know where we became so fearful of not standing up in our roles and being that leader, you know. So I really encourage all the listeners and viewers out there to just give this assessment a try. It's free, there's no charge. And like Elizabeth says, she doesn't see any of it unless you choose to share it with her, you know. Elizabeth, can we get into the programming and the cost of the programming and all that um,
sure,
before we
there,
wrap up your tea time?
of course. So, as I said, there are different price points because they're different programs. So the assessment is free. There is something called Finding Your Ikigai, and that is
Yes.
helping someone to. Uh, it's an activity that helps an individual identify their life's purpose and in a really comprehensive way. And that is less than the price of a cup of coffee. Um, and then there are other aspects to the courses that you can choose. The very top tier one at the point of this recording, the time that we are recording this, Liz, it's 599 US dollars, not including VAT for those who are in VAT territories. But that is the price point for the top tier one, which is achieving professional excellence. And that is the one that contains all of the life cycles, upgrade to all of the life cycles. But if that price point is too high for you at the moment, the other modules have been split out, and you can look at those individually. So if there is something for everyone there, just go to the website and have a look. But I would advise everyone to at least try the assessment.
And I know I noticed, Elizabeth, that you have a blog. So on the blog, what do you do with the blog?
So on the blog, I give tips, techniques, uh, tricks, all different types of insight into how someone can apply leveling up in different aspects. So there is one blog I talk about how to create your elevator pitch. Another blog speaks about how to engage with a difficult manager or a difficult colleague. Another one is how to use, courage, charisma, how to use motivation, influence. It's a whole host of things. It's all geared towards helping someone across any one of the 9 life areas.
Okay. So do you have 3 tips for the viewers at home?
3 tips. I would say tip number 1 is to get started. Use what you have, start where you are, use what you have, and do the best you can. So I have a challenge for your viewers. Actually, I would like your viewers today, take a deep breath, relax, have a cup of something, whatever makes you happy, a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, a little glass of wine, whatever it is, and just relax and think about what one thing can you change, one thing that you can do to help yourself move forward. And don't do it today. Sleep on it. And when you get up in the morning, do that one thing. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It can be one phone call. It can be finishing one piece of art, or it can be writing that one email. But just do one thing that is aligned to your dreams. Not necessarily your role in an organization, but what you want to achieve for yourself. Just one thing. So tomorrow, do one thing. And the day after that, do one thing. And then look back a week after, and you will be surprised to see how far you have come in those 7 days. So that's tip number 1. Just use what you have, do the best you can with where you are. That's 1. The second piece of advice I would say is do not give up on your dreams. Regardless of how far away they may be or how difficult it may seem, do not give up on your dreams. Never, ever give up on your dreams. It is part of who you are, part of who you are meant to be. Refine it, surround yourself with the people who will support you in that dream and go for it, one step at a time. Yeah? And thirdly, and this is something I continue to evolve, so that's why I'm sharing it with you, practice patience. Because on your journey to achieving your dream, there will be lots of highs and lows. And you need to practice the patience that will allow you to navigate that, that turmoil sometimes. Sometimes it's a great journey, and other times it will take the wind out of you, but don't stop. So practice the patience that it will take to get you where you need to go. And it's because it's a never-ending journey, you see. It's never-ending.
Well, I want to thank you for those 3 tips, Elizabeth. They really do help, and they're simple too. And tips, get started,
Yes.
Don't give up, and practice patience. It's something that we all can do. It doesn't cost anything to do any of those things. So, where do you see yourself in 5 years, Elizabeth?
I see myself, Liz, doing exactly what I'm doing now, but just on a larger scale. Meeting more women, helping more women, having more success stories than I have now with women who have stepped into either their leadership roles in their personal life or their professional life. So exactly what I'm doing now, just on a grander scale.
Well, I really enjoyed our tea time together, Elizabeth. You've really given a lot of tools and a lot of awareness and a lot of examples, that we can get out there and we can try. For the viewers that are watching now and to the viewers that will listen and watch later, if you have any questions for Elizabeth, please don't feel shy. Reach out to her. She's on all social media platforms. I have shared them during the show. For the ones that will be listening to your tea time on the audio, it will be all in the description box. All the information is there. If you really want to just try the assessment and see the results, you might just be surprised, but it might be a surprise that you may need to see, in order to work on yourselves. I know I got a few results and I was like, oh, okay, I still got to work on that. So it's an awakening, don't take it as an offense. Just see that there's still room for growth. There's still room to change, because we all can evolve, we all can change, we all can grow. So Elizabeth, I really want to thank you for joining me today in and on Tea Time and making a difference for a voice for a woman, and the leadership roles and the importance of education, getting out there and educating ourselves. We have to be the advocates of our own education and learning. We can't wait for services and people to come running to us. We have to look for them. Just like I found Elizabeth, she found me, we connected, we aligned, and we're here today serving tea. She's my sugar, I'm the cream, and we have a cup of tea. So for anyone out there, if you have any questions at all, please reach out. If you're watching the replay, please put where you're watching from so I can thank you for watching on that platform. We are streaming on multiple platforms, which gives more enlightenment and more voice out there, I find. And some people are not on one platform, but they might be on another platform. So I'm reaching out to all of you out there. My next tea time will be February 28th, where I bring Tina Formal in, and she'll be sharing a powerful story which might trigger some people. I am warning you, there will be trigger warnings. If you feel that that topic is not meant for you, please do not tune into that show. If it is meant for you, I welcome you wholeheartedly. She will be speaking on the child industry welfare system. She has gone through a powerful story. She has written an incredible book about a grandmother who had to fight the foster care system. So it is really going to be a powerful, triggering tea time, but it is a tea time that needs to be heard. I feel that she has the right to share her story and to get her voice out there on the system. There are broken systems and there are good systems, and we just need to get the voice out there and awareness so that we can change it. Again, Tea Time is an awareness-based program. It is not therapeutical. I am not giving directions and directing you in any way or face or manner. You choose to attend or not attend. And I am okay if you don't choose to attend. I don't want to trigger or violate anyone and in their life. If you feel that it will trigger you, please do not tune in. Again, Elizabeth, thank you for tuning in and joining me and bringing a voice to women. We need more women like you out there. We need that voice. We need the education. And we need to say that it's okay to be who we are. Don't change for anybody. Like Elizabeth has said, we don't need to change to fit in. We need to be aligned with who we really are. And she served a strong cup of tea today with all of us out there. She served us tenacity, evolving, and alignment. So 3 words that align with good women leadership. So thank you again, Elizabeth, for joining me for tea time. Thank you to all the viewers and comments that were coming in. A special thank you to Room Redux for tuning in. Susie, thank you for tuning in. She did share identity, connection, and status. So thanks for sharing that comment. Again, if you want to leave a comment, please give the okay to StreamYard.com in order for me to put your comment up. Otherwise, I can't. I don't want to breach StreamYard as this is the platform that I'm using. So again, I will see everybody February 28th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with a new cup of tea, and we will make a difference 1 cup of tea at a time. So thank you for tuning in today.
Thank you.